Alright, so now what we're going to do is export this guy for laser cutting and get it ready to go. So what I'm going to do is export this line drawing. We talked about in the previous video how to sort of get this guy ready, your component ready with the correct lines. And then what you want to do is, get your pattern ready to go and print it, and export it. And what we want to do is isolate just the pattern with the lines. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the view that just has this isolated. I have that view in the pattern to copy, right? So there's that. If you haven't made the view, you just want to be in the view where you can see everything, and I'll make an isolated view of this one, and you'll just duplicate it. And it's going to create a copy of the view that you just had, and you're just going to use the scope box here to crop that view. So if I come over to the side, there's a scope box option, and I can just say scope box 5, right? And so now that view is cropped down to that size. I'm not going to export this one right now because I think it's a little small. When we scale it down, it'll be a little small. Unless you have small fingers and you can do a lot of folding, which is totally fine if you want to do that. But I'm going to go to my pattern copy 1, and we're going to export this one just for simplicity's sake. Okay. So once you have it isolated, it's pretty simple. You're going to come under the R pull down, and there's an export. And you're going to go to CAD Formats and DWG. And once you get to there, it brings up this big dialog box. And what you're going to do, the most important thing to do, is we need to change one setting, and we're going to do that by left clicking on this model export setup, modify export setup, and the first thing that comes up is layers. And what you want to make sure is selected in this pull down is export all properties by layer and create new layers for overrides. So select that, and that's going to separate those lines that we have, the hidden lines and the solid lines, into different layers instead of different same colors on the same layer in a couple of different ways. And so once you have that done, you can click OK here, and then you can go to Next down here at the bottom, and you can save it to whatever file name you want to save it as. And I already have this one up here, but I'll go ahead and copy over it. So I'm going to click OK and replace the existing file, and it creates an AutoCAD file for us. And if I minimize that and I open up AutoCAD, I can go and open that file. So first I have to remember where it is. So I'll go to Open, and I'll navigate to my assignment folder that has all my files in it. So the one that we just did is that one at the top. You can see it was just done, and so I'm going to pick that guy. You see it show up, and I'm going to open it. Now in AutoCAD, it comes in, and AutoCAD has layers if you're not familiar with it. And if I go to the layer pull down, you see I have two layers: the general generic model and the generic model hidden line. They're both on the same color. A couple of things you're going to want to do before you go into the laser cutter, and when I get back, we'll go through that.